In this video, I'm going to talk about transaction analysis, a very popular theory by Eric Berne. So we can call it as a psychoanalytic theory, and this has got its application in every areas of life and to every human being. I would say that because even we use it in psychotherapy, and it's very importantly used in corporates and organizations as well because of its important implications in communication. So a person's communication can be improved through this kind of transaction analysis theory as well, and also it's a wonderful tool for understanding a person's personality. So there are immense benefit about this transaction analysis. I hope some of you would have heard about this term because it's a very modern and popular theory as well. And to know more about like what it is and what are the key concepts, I'm not going to go to the theoretical and make you all psychologists. I'm going to tell you the very simple modern applications of transactional analysis to improve your self-development, terms of personality development, and also to improve your communications and day-to-day interactions, be it personal interactions, be with your spouse or family or else in corporates, wherever, as well as to improve intimacy and also to improve your autonomy and problem solving skills. So let's understand the basics of transaction analysis even before you understand yourselves better. So the first thing, whenever we talk about transaction analysis, we can't skip from this PAC model, that is parent, adult and child. So as according to Eric Berne, he talks about 3 ego states. It can be compared and parallel with Freud's ego states, but this is also different. So I'm not going to go for the comparative analysis between Freud and Eric Berne's theory, but you must be knowing that there is a parallel which is between these 3 ego states, but not at the same. So here he says that all the human beings, the basic idea about this transaction analysis is that key concepts is that all the human beings do have skills and they are basically born okay. And he majorly talks about our early childhood experiences which predicts our adult life. And he also talks about a very immense concept called life scripts. And I always address this in my workshop saying that you all know, even though you are in your 40s, 50s or 60s, whatever age group you are in, your life is already been decided even when you are 5-year-old. And this is what Eric Berne had said. So he says that we involve in typical similar patterns even though you grow as a grown-up person, deriving from your childhood experiences. And what are the problems we face in our interpersonal interactions in married life or in a complex any other interactions you have may be due to the result of childhood experiences. And he also says, fortunately, that if these decisions are made by you, you can change it. It's not like astrology or horoscope where your fate has already been decided and you don't have any say in it. Good news is when you get the awareness about your own life scripts, you can obviously change it, because after all, you're the directors of your own life and script is in your hands. But all you need is self-awareness. So this video will give you a lot of awareness about how your life script is and what are the drivers and what are the time structures and the games people play. These are new terms maybe for you, but these are the key concepts and very interesting concepts in transaction analysis, which I'll be talking about in some series of videos to come. So in this video, I'll focus more on the 3 ego states which you should know, because all human beings, whoever it may be, even though he is a child or is an adult or a very old person, all of us do have 3 basic ego states, that is parent, child and adult. So when I talk about parent, we know what a parent would do. In this particular ego state, what it has is the recordings of our parental voices. Like, you know, what our parents would say. Whenever we hear the term parent, what comes to our mind? Don't do this, and be careful, and shoulds, and all these things are there in our parent. So all these are recordings from our early childhood experiences where your parent had been giving a lot of instructions about how to live a life, wherein they've been actually inculcating us with a lot of moral values and beliefs for living a very adaptive life in a society. So, but then parenting can be of 2 types here. In the parents, we talk about critical parent as well as nurturing parent. So as the name goes, nurturing parent is the one who actually gives a lot of unconditional love and affection to the person and then to their own child, and they are actually only trying to meet the needs of their child in a more loving way and a kind way. So this is the role of a nurturing parent. what could be the role of a critical parent? As the name goes, he is going to criticize, he is going to control the child, and he is going to put his values and beliefs onto the child and not allow the child to be himself or herself. So this is where the critical parent comes. So Eric Berne says that we all have these three ego states where these parents can be of two types. One is nurturing and critical. It's very important that we understand the basic things. And the next thing is about, before coming to adult, let me go to child. So that's more interesting. So when it comes to child, we also have our own child ego state, and we may even communicate to others from that ego state. So even child can be divided into two. One is like natural child and another one is the adapted child. So natural child is a combination of a free child and a little professor, we say. So let me not confuse with a lot of concepts. I'll tell you in a very simple way possible. So when we talk about natural child, as a free child who has got this kind of curiosity, lot of creativity, wanting to explore the whole world, and more of a free child. I want this, I wish this. This are kind of things, and they always look for that need satisfaction. And they are like completely free by their own nature. And when it comes to adapted child, as the name goes, the child adapts based on the needs of their parents or the parents' instructions, we could say. So how a child basically learns? Just by watching, observation, by instructions, right? And by reinforcements from the child, from the parents saying that don't touch this, it'll hurt you, and you have to follow the traffic rules. All these are good things. When a child learns from the parent, it becomes an adaptive child in a more compliant way. But at the same time, if the child is going to rebel because the child cannot accept whatever the parent says, then it becomes a problematic component of our child. So this particular adapted child is the most difficult part of our personality, which can create problems in our adult life. For example, if you can think about this child's responses in terms of adaptive child's responses in terms of when you're not able to present yourself in front of a group, or you got criticism from your colleague, all this it will trigger reactions which were in your childhood. So basically when I say child, it is all about recordings of your internal environment and how you got exposed to the external events. Because the children are so afraid by these kind of things, and the parents would say, if you don't eat, then I'm going to spank you, and these kind of things they were exposed to. So at that time, how they really felt, these are the emotions, like they may be anxious, they may be fearful or depressed or even happy. So all these emotional reactions are stored in the child, so it can be played later also in their life. So that's where problems actually crops up. So this is about the child component within us, the child ego state. Even we can always communicate from the child ego state also. And thirdly, very important thing is adult ego state. And this ego state is very, very rational, and it is also reality oriented, and it is like going to gather a lot of information and carefully selects from the alternatives and finally comes to the conclusion. And adult ego state is not driven by emotions. They can think rationally. Anybody who is going to communicate to you from an adult ego state would actually be more rational and logical and not emotional. And they always consider the parent and the child ego state and finally make a choice for you. So these are the three important ego states with which we communicate to another person. And we also come here to the three types of transactions, and there are few other types, but these three types are very common, I would say. That is complementary, crossed and ulterior. So what happens in a complementary is, let's say with a very simple example, I'm communicating from my parent ego state and I am expecting a response from your child ego state. But let's say you are responding from again a adult ego state. So that is not a complementary communication. So what I'm expecting from you, if you are responding from the same ego state, then it is complementary. Let's say I'm asking for where is my car key. Okay, and let's say I'm asking to my husband, where is my car key? And if he says, you always shout at me, so he is responding from the child ego state. So this is the parent talking to an adult talking to another adult, but I'm actually expecting a response from an adult state of my spouse, but he is in turn giving a response from his child ego state. So this is where our communication is not complementary, and communications can break because of this kind of patterns or transactions which are happening. So complementary transactions are always good compared to this kind of cross transaction, and even more worst is ulterior transactions, wherein you have a disguised ego state and we are talking in that particular ego state, and even the other person is also talking in a disguised ego state. So this becomes very complex and can lead to a lot of games and racketing later. So this becomes a dysfunctional communication. So always in any interpersonal communication between husband and wife, or between corporate managers and subordinates, we always recommend complementary transaction which can keep the communication more open and more flowing. Otherwise communications can break because of this kind of ulterior and cross transactions. So I think so far you would have understood very basic things about, like, we have 3 ego states, and all of us do have these 3 unique ego states, and it can be, we can prefer maybe a particular ego state we may prefer. Some may be always talking from the child, some people may be always talking as a parent, some may be always talking as an adult. It's always good to be in an adult ego state, and especially in corporate communication and also even interpersonal communication, being in an adult ego state is always good, or at least being aware of your ego state is very important. So from now on, whenever you communicate, think, which ego state am I talking from? What is creating problem in my interpersonal communications? And you may be thinking about certain behavior you keep on repeating despite issues. For example, shouting in the traffic, or always sulking and becoming oversensitive and trying to please people. These are some behavior we always may indulge in our everyday life, and may definitely you would not have got any payoffs or reinforcements from other people. They would say, better stop doing this, don't sulk, don't pity yourself, don't be so sensitive, don't shout when nothing is going to happen. But still we are not able to stop these kind of behavioral patterns. This is the ulterior reason behind our transactional analysis, and we do things for various reasons, and we indulge in certain behavior, certain thinking process, certain feelings which makes our personality, because we need to actually maintain a life position, and also we are getting a payoff which is like very unconscious. For all these reasons, we continue to do even dysfunctional things. We continue to think negatively and in a more distorted way. So this understanding of transaction analysis and its robust applications in our day-to-day life will give you a lot of awareness about yourself in a way you communicate with another person, and also can improve your intimacy. So there are a lot of interesting concepts which I'm going to discuss in this series of transaction analysis, about which I'm getting requests from a lot of my in YouTube page, but now only I got time to speak about it. So excuse me for that, and definitely we'll be continuing to talk a lot about transaction analysis in this series. So have a very nice day. Take care. Bye.